Hello and welcome to Windsor College. My name is Nat Jones and I teach on all of the performing arts courses here at the Windsor campus. As we are not able to meet in person just yet, I've put together a little presentation just to give you an overview of your course and hopefully answer some of the questions you might have before you start in September. So, the Level 3 Extended and Foundation Diploma in Performing Arts Practice. The course structure is 10 units over 2 years, as you can see. I'll go into a bit more detail about those units later. You'll have skills classes and practical workshops to develop as a performer, and then you will be assessed on each unit as you go along, and a unit grade is given. Formative assessment happens throughout the year, and all of the practical work that you do is underpinned by some theory and will involve you completing coursework. So that coursework will include research. It might be on a particular practitioner or performance style. It might be a playwright. If you're studying a particular play, you might have to look at the context of that play or the characters and carry out some research on those. Documenting your rehearsal processes and evaluation and self-reflection. So you are effectively planning your sort of own development and thinking about the areas of performance you might want to specialise in eventually. At the end of the 2 years, your unit grades are used to calculate your qualification grade, which will be made up of 3 grades, again at pass, merit or distinction. Progression from the level 3 is often to higher education, a degree course at university or drama school. We also run a level 4 diploma here at Windsor, which is kind of like a foundation year, and that's for those students who want to maybe bridge the gap between college and a degree course. Maybe they want to work out what pathway they want to take within the huge industry that is the creative arts. For those that want to go straight into employment from level 3, this is often into the entertainment industry, and we've also had students that have gone into work in arts venues and also in events as well. Trips and visits. We like to take you to see as much performance as possible. As you might already know, theatres are closed at the moment, but as soon as we are able to, we will plan theatre trips. Our student advisors at college can help with applying for a student bursary to cover costs if you're eligible. There's also student performances to see every half term. With a department that has a few courses, so we also have a level 2 and a level 4 course, as well as you guys at level 3, so there's always a student performance to see. Most of those happen down the road at the Old Court Arts Centre. And that's the professional venue that we use for some of your classes as well as your shows. Work experience also forms a really important part of your course, and we are really lucky to have that relationship with the Old Court as a professional arts venue, because it means that you could potentially have the opportunity to be part of a production team in a working theatre space. So a bit more detail on the units you'll study. Here's some of the areas that you will study to develop your performance skills. So as you can see there, I've sort of broken it down into what's studied in year 1 and what is in year 2. Some are sort of workshop-based smaller projects, and some of these areas feed into larger scale performance projects. Then we have the units that are industry focused. So whether you're planning on higher education or employment after the course, we'll support you through the process, and we'll make sure that you have a really clear view on how the actual creative industry works, how it's funded, how to market yourself, where all the money comes from, and actually how you can make a living from it. As I said, a lot of the units that are skills based will eventually feed into larger scale performance projects. Usually you'll have 2 public performances in year 1 and 3 in year 2. These are for a paying audience, and this is where you're able to develop your performance experience and also show off to your family and friends in a professional venue. And there's just some posters there of our students' work from the last year's extended diploma groups. So that's an overview of your year. You might also be wondering what you will need for classes and what we expect of you as a performing arts student. So here are a few things to remember. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. We expect you to arrive prepared to all of your lessons, and that means with a notebook and pen, any scripts or whatever it is that we're working on in class at the time, obviously you'll need to bring with you. Clothing and footwear is really important. You need to be comfortable. So whatever you wear for practical lessons needs to be something you're happy moving around in, and you're not going to be precious about getting it dirty or not being able to sit on the floor and things like that. Most importantly, we expect you to make sure that you are available to see theatre. So that means watching student performances and theatre trips, and spending time outside of classes on extra rehearsals, or it might be learning scripts. You can't do a performing arts course just on the hours that we're allowed to teach you. So it's about making sure you spend that extra time outside of class. And that might be on campus using rehearsal space, or it might be at home. And we expect you to spend about 5 hours a week outside of class. Also, you'll have a tutor, and once a week you'll have a core studies class, and we expect you to attend all of those. And some of you may be retaking your GCSE maths or English, so you must attend those classes too. And be an active participant in college life, get the most out of it, and you guys often represent our campus as part of the creative arts department, so we ask you just to make sure you are always doing that in the best way possible. So lastly, here is your summer assignment. This is a piece of work we would like you to bring with you on your first day of classes. It's fun, I promise. It basically involves you, first of all, watching some theatre. So as I said, lots of theatres are closed at the moment, but what that does mean is there is a lot of online theatre that you can watch. And you can watch them online for free. So here are some links to those. Plays, musicals, all kinds of live performance is available to you. When you've watched some theatre, the first thing I want you to do is write about a performer that stands out, and be specific about what it is that has an impact on you. Love it if you could have a go at writing some theatre. So that's about turning a chapter from a book into a play script. And think about all of the companies, the theatre companies that produce work now, work that is relevant to what's going in the world right now, contemporary theatre companies, and become an expert on that company. At the end of the presentation is our Instagram. If you follow us and check out who we follow, that might give you an idea of the sorts of companies that you could look into. So while you're busy doing your summer assignment, we'll be busy getting the campus ready to make sure that it is a safe working space for when you start in September, and that all social distancing measures are in place to keep you safe. I hope this presentation has been useful. If you have questions, here are the contact details of Jamie Davies, who is the Head of Creative Arts, and myself, Natalie Jones. That's our Instagram handle. And all that is left for me to say is to have a lovely summer, and I can't wait to meet you all.